Hi, welcome back to c2c World TV. I'm Yvonne Jones, your host for tonight's special featured event, Living with Purpose at Any Age, with our lovely co-host, Robin Eddleman. C2C World TV is specifically designed by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs, and today's sponsor for the show is Edible Home Gardens, Ranch, RV, and Tiny Home Resorts Communities. We're excited this evening to kick off our brand new Living with Purpose TV series with author Dr. Daniel Rubin, also known as Dr. Dan. There you go. There you go. As a quick reminder, Dr. Dan's personal journey with a Harvard education and a PhD from NYU, coupled with his distinguished career as a senior scientist at the National Cancer Institute, is a testament to the power of purpose and self discovery at any age. Dr. Dan is 87 years young, who rediscovered himself at the age of 84 and is the author of Living with Purpose, Finding Joy and Fulfillment in Your Golden Years. Among Dr. Dan's recent accomplishments, he was voted in the top 50 out of more than 7,000 entrants in the new Next Top Speaker Tournament. Welcome back, Dr. Dan. It's great to see you again. To get caught up on all your exciting adventures, please fill us in on what's been happening since the last time we met here on C2C World TV.
Well, thank you, Yvonne and Robin. It's just a real pleasure to be back and have this opportunity to be me and talk about what living with purpose really does and can mean for anybody. That's what my book is for. But this is an opportunity for me to demonstrate what it's like, because that's what I'm doing, is being myself. And tonight I'm going to talk about just one example of what happens when you find and live with and on your purpose. And mine is to empower people to live with joy and fulfillment and a sense of purpose. And most recently, um, I've been talking at senior assisted living facilities for the last approximately 2 years to empower them, to get them off that resignation of we're too old, it's too late, I'm past my prime, I can't really manage anything anymore, to realize that now is a moment where they can have the most remarkable lives ever,
Mhm.
living fully.
Yes.
And I was thinking, gee, I've been talking to a lot of them, and I just felt like there's something more that I could give them that might be inspiring. And wasn't quite sure what it was, but I kept focusing on, I need something. And then one night, I woke up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat. My heart was pumping, and I jumped out of bed and ran to my computer. I got this dream that told me what it is. And I don't remember my dreams very well. So I sat down at my computer and I typed it in, create a living legacy.
Wow.
That was it.
Mhm.
So the next morning when I got up, did my gratitude stuff. I went, well, now what is a living legacy? We all know what a legacy is. You know, it's that
Mhm.
property and that money you leave behind to your children and grandchildren. Well, it turns out that a living legacy is how you can be right now, living on purpose.
Mm.
It's being yourself and sharing who and what that is. All the wisdom and insights and experiences that you've had, your story. Everybody has a purpose and
Mhm.
everybody has a story.
All
And
right.
believe it or not, your children and especially your grandchildren, they want to know what it is.
All right.
Mm.
And I've discovered that not only do they want to know what it is, but what happens to you in fulfilling your purpose and creating that living legacy is, and certainly in my case, I discovered that I really matter. My life means something, not just to me,
Mm.
but to my children and grandchildren as a result of me creating this living legacy. And lo and behold, as if by magic, within a week or two, while I'm trying to figure this out, of my having this dream, I get a gift from my son. and it's called Memento. It's a high technology, very, very, very easy to use way to create a living legacy in the form of audio tracks, video tracks, assisted with artificial intelligence. It's so easy. I have a year to do it, and I've already generated over 100 short videos
Wow.
telling about my life
That's
and all
neat.
the things I've done and been and who and what has shown up. And let me tell you, it's very gratifying to know.
Mm-hmm.
And it does make me realize what I've just said to you, how important I am, not only to my children, but to my grandchildren who otherwise wouldn't know all these little stories that I haven't had a chance to tell them.
That's right.
And having created it through this technology, and believe me, it's so simple. It's going to live on after me, generations beyond. My children's children's
Mhm.
children will find out who Grandpa Rubin was. And each one of us has this purpose, has this opportunity to live and create your legacy. And that's really basically being who you are and sharing it. And Mementos it's way better than just a photo album that has, the dates on the back of the pictures that people won't remember what that was
Mm-hmm.
because you're dictating a story each time. And
Wow.
they've just added a new feature, which after you've dictated and submitted a video and you can edit it, add pictures, it follows up with a follow-up question as if someone was moderating your videos and you get an immediate question which follows up on the one the just little story you just spoke.
Oh.
An example for me is one the title is the smell of fresh bread and donuts in the morning.
Yeah. Mm. Mm-hmm.
Maybe you can guess what that is.
Mm.
When I was 11 years old, I had a paper route and I had to get up at 3:45 in the morning to throw 110 papers to my route,
Okay.
and the same thing in the afternoon. Well, guess where my papers got delivered for me to fold and put in my bag?
At that bakery.
Carl's Bakery.
Mm.
Wow.
Do you have any idea what a bakery smells like at 4 o'clock in the morning?
Mm.
Fresh bread and donuts.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
They were 3 for $10 back then. That's part of
Oh,
the
wow.
story. I used to get a dozen of them, and when I finished my route, I'd get a quart of milk and a dozen donuts.
Mm.
Man,
Mhm.
it's like paradise. Anyway,
Yes.
if you're thinking about, or if you agree with me, that it's important for especially your grandchildren as well as your children to know more about who you are, look into it.
Yeah.
It's beyond scrapbooking. It's beyond just collecting lots of pictures that you'll forget the details of what the story is. You tell the story as it's happening, and you get a year to do it.
That's amazing. And
Uh,
you have a related date coming up July 7th that relates to this topic, correct?
yeah. Well,
What's that about?
if anybody's interested and wants more information about it, you can contact me. These my gracious hosts provide how to contact me for a variety of reasons. And there's one new idea I'd like to throw out too before we close this session and start answering questions. I'd like to hear from you. Feedback to Yvonne and Robin and c2c World TV. What are some topics? What are some things you want to hear from me about? Get
Hmm.
my perspective, or even better, my experience. The
Right.
part of my living legacy that answers your question, like what's it like to be 87 and have all this vitality and energy to
Hmm.
share?
Hmm.
Yeah.
So again, thanks for inviting me. I enjoy being here with y'all. I really appreciate. And let me tell you something. These two young ladies are also good examples of what living with purpose is. And one of them is C2V C2C World TV.
Thank you. Well, we're with you on that, Dr. Dan. We like helping people and inspiring them and getting and learning from you. And as I mentioned in the previous show about the roadmap, about a dream job analyst is your roadmap to success. I think that you have a lot of valuable information. And what happens is the younger generation is missing out on not learning from the people who've already lived a life of full experience. What do you think about that?
Well, one of the things I've learned about since I started doing this is not only am I leaving something that's living, so to speak, videos and audios and pictures, but it's given me a renewed new sense of my importance, my significance. We all not only have a purpose, but we also make a difference. And when you create a living legacy, however you do it, with Memento or whatever, the important thing is to commit to sharing who you are while you're still alive.
Right.
And the satisfaction you'll get from that and knowing that you make a difference. I don't care what age you are, we all make a difference. And this is a great way to share. That's the important thing. You're sharing what that is, and it lives long after you.
I agree. Even our videos that we do for people that do happen to get on page one and show and give them the ability to see, and that's kind of like also a living publishing, situation. It's not a book, but it's still called published. When you put it on screen, it's called publishing. And so you're giving that as well. Like you're doing videos of you're doing these like little segment videos, right? About your legacy, what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we do. We want to help you do that as well, by helping and having people on the show, no matter who it is, and what their legacy is. And we've met some really amazing people on the show, and that's why we want to contribute as well. And that's why you're here, because we want to continue this series on living with purpose.
Yeah.
And I think it's fantastic that you're here to be that, living. You're the author of the book. We're so excited
Yeah.
about it.
I know.
What elements out of your book would you be willing to share with us today about and because don't forget people can buy your book. So what like little elements could you share out of your book that would maybe mean something to people out there looking to get in touch with you or be a part of your consultation process? What kind of things can you share with us?
That's a great question. I hope you get the joy that I feel just being here and how grateful I am, because that's part of the deal. That's
Mm-hmm.
what happens when you're living with purpose. Maybe that's there's so many little gems that I could drop, and I will from time to time as this series goes. So
Mm-hmm.
here's a couple. Number one, show up. Number two, notice who and what shows up in your life and get curious. If you don't already know
Mm-hmm.
what your purpose is, get curious about that.
Good point.
Express gratitude from the time you get up in the morning to all those little things you might start noticing that make a difference. Little things.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll discover what I'm calling that you're already living with purpose. And it's important that you share who and what that is. It's not for you. It's for those people whose lives are going to change as a result.
Yes.
So true.
Yes, it is
What do you say
true.
about that, Robin? We were talking about,
I think it's a market that's incredible and just coming out authentically and really knowing who you really are, like waking up and just like having that aha moment. In so, Dr. Dan, can you speak more about like just the incredible of how it what it's like to come out authentically of all of who you are, the essence of each of us? Can you elaborate a little bit more on that so we can help others that listen to you today to be able to begin, and if they need to reach out to you as a incredible guide.
Well, I'm part of my purpose is to be helpful to others. And it's not that easy. I can't quite put it in words. I think you see it with me on my face more than words.
Yes.
Um, that how happy I am, not just to be here,
Mhm.
but to be me here.
That's right.
I'm not following some kind of script. I respect and I honor the Yvonne and Robin and C2cTV, but I'm an example of living my purpose and just being me, right here in the moment.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's the best thing I can say is if you can find a way, look in the mirror in the morning and
Mhm.
say, I love you. I mean, that may sound silly, but it's not.
That's great though, right?
Just
I
look
Um,
in the mirror, look in your eyes and say, I love you. That will
yes.
set your day off like you won't believe. And that's an example of being purposeful.
Mm,
Part of the living with purpose idea is expressing gratitude because
yes.
every little moment in the day, when what you find is the feedback is pretty obvious most of the time. Opportunities present themselves out of the blue because you're open to sharing this who am I? And that's how I came to be here. It was just showed up one day. Robin and Yvonne said, "Hey, we'd like you to come speak."
Mhm.
Yes.
I didn't know anything about C2C World TV. And that's part of the magic, I guess. But it's the reality of what happens when you know who you are and why you're here. And notice what who and what shows up and express your gratitude. But
Mhm.
just even the little things like, my heart's beating and I'm breathing and I'm not having to worry about that.
Right.
Yeah.
I have another question for you. I am very fascinated about the fact that you were 84 years old when you rediscovered yourself. That's amazing to me.
Well, well, it's amazing to me too. And some people say to me, "Hey, what took you so long to
Some
find
people
out?"
never find it. Some
Well,
people never find it.
That's what I was thinking. And that's what I was leading off with before. It's like,
well,
how
yeah,
do people find
yeah.
that? Right? If they're
Well, a
struggling.
lot of this reflects my own beliefs and opinions. I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything except to demonstrate an example of what it's like to know what your purpose is, to be on purpose, to be taking action and showing up.
Mhm.
Okay. And it can take many, many, many different forms. Uh, but the consequences, you'll know. You'll know when you're on in the flow, as they say,
Mhm.
because these things happen spontaneously. And and when you set some intentions at the beginning of the day, that determines what your day is going to be like. So I suggest you start the day with something positive and
Mhm.
looking in the mirror and saying, I love you. That's a great way to start your day.
And so,
Even if it seems weird in the beginning, trust me. The more you do that, the more you'll start, I hope,
mhm.
noticing that your days are different. You're not noticing all the bad things happening. I mean, life happens in a lot of different ways.
Right.
Yeah.
But when you tune into, that's what gratitude is about, tuning into all those little things that happen every day that if you notice them, you can say, thank you. That's
Yeah.
all it takes. That's the other thing that I've learned how simple it can be. We have this tendency to complicate things.
Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't have to be that way. It can be really simple and as simple as just noticing and saying thank you for all those things. The sun comes up, you
Mhm.
know, you don't have to worry about it.
So I
And
have
your heartbeat.
oh,
Yeah. And your lungs breathe. All these things happening in the unknown that you take for granted. But
mhm.
trust me, if you start recognizing and appreciating all of those little things, it will absolutely make a difference in your life.
I have a
Absolutely.
follow-up question on your 84 years old when you did your transition. What, I have a question. What exactly were you feeling and how were you able, because a lot of people just can't do what you did. And how were you able
Yeah, I
to?
didn't really answer your question completely, and I'm glad you reminded me. Because um I took some actions,
Mhm.
but I think for whatever reason, I wasn't planning on this. I didn't wake up one morning and say, I need to find out what my purpose is. What happened is new things started to happen in my life, little things, but I noticed them.
Mhm.
There's a plan for my life. There's a plan for your life. And not all of it's known. In fact,
Mhm.
a lot of it is not within your control. But when you're aware and you're curious and you're listening and you're looking. So what happened for me about 2+ years ago, this little smile started on my face.
Mhm.
No one could see it. It was so faint, I could feel it inside.
Me
Mhm.
too.
But I noticed it. I didn't ignore it. And in noticing it over a very relatively short period of time, it started to grow to the point where it was obvious that I'm smiling.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden, one out of the clear blue, this is where you're listening to that part of you that knows.
Mhm.
You can call it your higher power, God, Muhammad,
Mhm.
your heart. There's a part of you that knows. And when you're listening in the stillness of the part that knows, also I found myself waking up and this smile would suddenly spontaneously appear. And I started saying, thank you.
Wow.
Thank you, God. But you could just it's all of a sudden it took on my life started to change. And I started to realize that this expressing gratitude thing really was important. And
Mhm.
believe me, it's the one of the most powerful things, gifts that we've been given that you can do. And I guarantee it will change your life. And that's what happened to me. All of a sudden, it's because I was listening, because a lot of things happen during the day when we're so busy
Mhm.
and we may miss some of these messages.
Right.
But if you take time to what I call go in the stillness,
Mhm.
just quiet down, quiet your mind,
Mhm.
and listen, pay attention.
Yep.
And if you set some intentions like, I really don't know what my purpose is what is it?
Mhm. Ask questions.
And then wait for the answer
That's right.
and trust the answer.
That's right.
So that became an evolving, powerful, transformational journey for me. It's still going. The
Yeah.
most, the most recent thing that's happened to me in that regard
Mhm.
has to do with another lesson that I've learned,
Mhm.
and that is how simple life is supposed to be.
Yes.
We complicate it.
Oh my
How
God.
simple life is supposed to be. I was recently hospitalized for a day or so.
Mhm.
It was over Valentine's, by the way.
Mhm.
And as I was leaving the hospital, I got this idea. We all get ideas all the time, and if we're
Yeah.
not paying attention, they just move on.
That's
I
right.
got this idea that,
Yeah.
a really simple thing I could do, in addition to empowering people, I could just make people smile.
Aw.
And it's like a light bulb went off. And yes, start doing that. I got t-shirts now that say y'all smile.
Yeah.
It's so
Wow.
easy, so simple. That's my new submission. And what I like about it is how simple and easy it is. And all I have to do is show up.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
each one of us has one of those simple things. If
Yes.
you just start listening, asking questions that have to do with who am I? Why am I here?
Mm-hmm.
And listen to what you get and trust it.
Exactly.
That's
I
it. So there's a lot of mystical, unexplainable things in the
Mm-hmm.
process. But I think that's the beauty of it, is because ultimately it relies on trust too. Trusting yourself when you're listening, because there's all this noise in our head most of the time.
Right.
Quiet meditative times in the stillness, I call it. Just to take a few deep breaths and say, what's my intention for today?
Mm-hmm.
How do I want today to? And there's lots of sources of information on that that'll help
Mm-hmm.
you answer that question and get you moving in the direction of finding out and being who you are, which is why we're here.
Exactly. I just said and mentioned in a recent show, didn't I, Robin, about tuning things out and having silence, and like asking yourself, like you asked yourself questions and waited for the answer. When we have all the distractions and all the frequencies coming in at us and attacking us, where I turned off all the music. I just started saying, wait a minute, this is too distracting. It's too much. I can't I can't hear myself think, in spite of all the noise. So it's very important to be able to listen and ask yourself questions, like you said, Dr. Dan. I think, and wait for those answers because your spirit will answer you. I think that's what's amazing.
And there's a lot of ways to do that. You can journal too. There's
Mhm.
all different ways to quote meditate, but
Mhm.
meditation is really just taking some time out,
Mhm.
quiet and atmosphere, and just sit or lie down and close your eyes and relax. Take a few deep breaths, ask yourself a question, or just listen. And if you're journaling, write down what comes to you and then decide. But trusting yourself is part of that process.
Yeah, you probably half the people don't, or like, I don't want to say, I don't know how many people, but a lot of people don't even know who they are or what questions to ask. They're so busy all the time. Busy, busy,
Yes.
busy, busy, busy.
Well, well, a lot of people just jump right out of bed in the morning. They grab a cup of coffee and and
Yeah,
they're suddenly in the world of noise,
that's right.
Yes.
and it's too late.
Yeah, right.
But there's another opportunity to do that, and that's true also with regard to expressing gratitude. First thing in the morning, or just before you're getting ready to go to bed. Take some time to relax, shut off the TV, turn off your phone, don't get that blue light exposure.
Mhm.
And another, 5 or 10 minutes or 15 minutes of quiet time to prepare to go to sleep. That's a time when you can tune in to a level of consciousness that has the answers and that you can program and that you can change, that gets you on the road to what I keep saying, being who you really are, finding out what that is.
Your authentic self. That's Robin's phrase, her off being authentic, your authentic self. And
Yeah, I really feel it. We should like, and just, yeah,
I really like it.
knowing who we really are, and just coming out and it's like, yes, the fullness of all who we are in our original order, and just,
Okay,
yeah.
can I, one more thing? I don't know when your time is up. Here's a little exercise that anybody can do.
Okay.
You could do it with a piece of paper, a pencil, or pen. Write down 5 to 10 labels that you have. Like, I'm a father, I'm a grandfather, I'm a sheet metal worker, I'm a teacher. All these labels that we have. Got my name is all that stuff. These are labels.
Mhm.
And with each one, ask yourself, it's not just, is this who I am? Look at your list. If you can get 10 of them, that's really great. You look at your list and you say, what if my name isn't Dr. Den? Am I still me?
Mhm.
What what if I'm what if I'm not really a teacher? Am I still me? Who is left? The point is, who is left when you get rid of all the labels? It's not what's left, it's who is left. Because you're not any of those things. You're not your thoughts, you're not your emotions, you're not your labels. There's an essence of who you are.
Mhm.
And I believe firmly that's why we are here on the planet, among other things, is to find out what that is. And in the process, sharing who we are
All
so that
right.
Yes.
it
Yeah.
impacts on other people. And that's called living your purpose.
That's right. Living your purpose at
Awesome.
any age.
Yes, of course.
I love it. Well, Dr. Dan, you're right. We are running out of time, and it's always a pleasure. I'm so excited that we're having these series, and we've got some really exciting shows and topics coming up. And we ask everybody to stay tuned and to submit either to Dr. Dan in the show notes, or Robin, or myself, or in the comments section, any topics that you would like to talk and have Dr. Dan answer. Also,
Yes.
if you wanted to actually be on the show and do all kinds of cool things with our show as we move along with exploring what you want to do. I mean, I think once you start going into these assisted living centers, Dr. Dan, that we had talked about in a previous show, and maybe getting some of those video clips of people and watching their faces light up, and how you're going to have an impact with these people as well. I think it's going to be an amazing show, and I'm really looking forward to all that we're going to be doing coming up. We're doing a once a month series. Robin, how is that? What's the schedule on those once a month series?
It's every third Wednesday of every month, and we're booked up until August, and then that may change, but hopefully it will just continue. But yeah,
Yeah, so we
I'm
record
just
them
so
on
blessed
the
that Dr. Dan has dedicated the time.
yeah, so
Thank you.
yes, and we record them on the third Wednesday, but we publish them on the Friday. So that's how it kind
Yeah,
of
that's
works. Yeah.
true. That's true. Yes,
But
you're
it is
right.
every third Wednesday, but
So,
it is every third Wednesday, and then we publish it on a Friday. And
yeah,
just remember, that's the cool part I was talking with Dan earlier, is like he's a publisher of a book, but yet when you put a video out there, it's called publish. And your information is out there for people to find you. And so we want to encourage people, just like Dr. Dan and anybody, if you really want to grow and get your message out there to people, C2C World TV can really help you with that. And we're a testament to that as well. And so is Dr. Dan, and we're all excited about it. So anytime, Dr. Dan, we're so excited to have you. We love the show. And is there any
yes.
last words, Dr. Dan, that you'd want to say? We have about 2 minutes left.
Well, two things. One, if you want to contact me, they know how to contact me, my email. And secondly, if for those that really interested, submit your questions for the next time, and maybe we can start out with a Q&A, and I'll just answer your questions.
Yes.
It'll be great. It'll be great. We're looking forward to it. And with
Thanks again. I look forward to the next time, next month.
Yes, and
Yes.
with that, we're happy to have you on, Dan, Dr. Dan, again and again. And God bless, and you all have a great weekend. Thank you.
Many blessings. Till next time. See you
Till next
guys.
time.
Thanks
Bye.
so much. Bye.